Yo, on this episode of Corner of the Circle podcast, we have the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Andrew Morgan. Some of you guys might know him as Andy Ripbody. Do these hilarious, quickly becoming one of my good friends. So I really, really wanted people to have an opportunity, those that don't know who the guy is, to have an opportunity to hear what he has to say from nutrition, from nutritional trends to, even down to his love for machines and fast cars. And of course, our my latest trip to Tokyo, when I got a chance to actually hang out with him. So I think you guys are going to really enjoy this one. So sit back, relax, strap on your seatbelt. That's what I did, Andy. And get ready for the corner of the circle. All right, we are back with yet another episode of Corner on the Circle. We have the man, the myth, the legend, the scientific guru, the nutritional freaking Mahatma Gandhi, the world traveler, the all of the above, Mr. Octane in his veins, Mr. Andrew Morgan. Thank you very much, sir, for being on.
Ellis, thank you for having me, and y'all, thank you for listening in. Did I say that right?
Yeah. You got the y'all right. He used y'all. That's
And
great.
also, Texas is the best state. Woo Guns and Buffalo Wild Wings is amazing.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, actually, I had wings last night. Actually, believe it or not, well, I had cauliflower wings. I had cauliflower wings, and I tried to splurge a little bit, and I was like, yeah, let's go out. Let's have wings because like every Tuesday, at least around here, it's wing night. So
Mhm.
it's like 50 cents to 75 cent wings. So it's pretty cheap. And so me and a couple of my guys that I train, we go out to eat, and I have cauliflower wings, these vegan cauliflower wings, which I'm absolutely addicted to, and I have
What? No, back up, son.
yes,
You had vegan
yes,
wings
they're cauliflower, but they have they still put the wing sauce and all that stuff on them.
made of cauliflower. You
Yeah,
what?
and they're
What?
crispy and everything. They're
Th-
so good.
This is not a wing. You were lied to, my
No,
friend.
no, no. And no, here's the thing.
They
I didn't have it.
sold you.
Oh, they sold me a bill of goods for sure. And I didn't even. I'll be honest with you. I didn't even have a traditional wing. I had that, and then I had some boneless wings grilled. So basically,
Okay.
I had chunks of
Uh,
grilled chicken and cauliflower wings.
yeah, I can get down with my boneless wings. Yeah, this is
But the thing
actually
is,
what I go
it
for.
wasn't even real boneless wings. It was grilled boneless wings. So it was just chicken breast, just chunks of chicken breast. So I mean, listen, man, you saw that cut that I tried to go through. That was hell. I'm not gonna do that again. So I'm gonna make sure
Right.
that cauliflower. If I have to put a substitute a substitute wing on, then so be it. But yeah, so those of you like, you can already tell, Andy does know his he knows his stuff about nutrition. You recently, actually, you know what? Boom, I have it right here. Uh, you guys just recently re-released publication, the Muscle Shrink Pyramid. Boom, guys. You guys don't have them. You're sleeping on the rock. And if you look here, people, who's that right there? Boom, boom, boom.
Oh
That's
my God,
Andy.
that's handsome.
I
That
am.
is too much handsome.
That's too much handsome, too much beauty in one picture. Um, but yeah, so for the people out there that know you, there's nothing that I'm saying that they don't already know. It's fact. But those of my number that don't know who you are, kind of give them a rundown of who you are, what you do, what you're about, all that good stuff.
Yeah, sure. So I blog. I try to make the fitness industry a less shitty place for people.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I, because there's a lot of crap out there,
Yes.
and I just try and make things a lot simpler, and I do that by writing about how to um, train and get your nutrition on point
Right.
without resorting to supplements or gimmicks, fads, any of that kind of stuff. So my writing is for, I would say, people who they've been on this fitness treadmill and they've been running into, um, how can I say, these fads, and they've finally realized that, you know what, there aren't any shortcuts.
They're really.
And so now they're prepared to read my long ass articles, right? They've now got the patience for it. And that's what I've been doing for 8 years. So I make my money through mainly through online coaching, email coaching. I work with a few clients, and I also make some money now through selling books, both digital and recently physical. We put the physical versions on Amazon of the Muscle and Strength Pyramids, and those are the nutrition and training textbooks that I wrote with Eric Helms and ANDREA VALDEZ.
And I'll make sure, guys, just in case you guys haven't heard of them and you want to get a hold of those books, I'll make sure I put a link up. And I'll probably most likely while you're talking about that particular part, I'm probably going to actually put a graphic up of the book so people know what they look like, even though I put them up earlier. Um,
Thank
so
you, man.
yeah, it's and dude, they're powerful. They're like they work, and they've been working for a long time for a lot of people. Um, I think they've been. I know as far as those books go, they've been digital for quite some time, and now that they're actually a concrete uh, bound book, you can literally go to Amazon like everyone in the world does, and you can order the book, have it delivered to your doorstep, and you can be able to thumb through the pages. If you're like myself, while you do have a little bit of a technical savvy, sometimes it's good to have a concrete version so that you can actually dog ear that page and go back to it, see it, read it, make your notes and everything. And in terms of Andy's blog, and in terms of what he does, you can go to ripbody.com, and a lot of the information that you seek is there. A lot of those amazing long blogs that he speaks of, they're there. So yeah, this is probably most likely of all the guests, this is probably the biggest thinker that's been on. No disrespect to the previous guests, but for the most part, I've had people that move a lot of weight, crack a lot of jokes, and this guy, he cracks a lot of jokes, and then he gets the people that can move a lot of weight. He gets them to move away a little bit better. He makes the people that have a cut here, cut there, to have more cuts. The people that are out of shape, he helps them get in shape by actually providing them with practical knowledge, which is crazy because I'm living proof that it actually works. Believe it or not, I could have died. So, and actually, we're gonna dig into that a little bit later, I think, man, because people need to know that like the stuff that you guys teach and the stuff that you guys preach actually works, and it's nothing. It's not this huge puzzle that I for years thought it was. It literally took a couple messages, an easy formula, and somebody to show you how to do it, and you're like, oh crap, that's it. It's not hard, and I think a lot of people have been lied to, myself included. And there's people like yourselves that actually help, like you said, make the fitness industry a less shitty place by really kind of pulling back the veil of misinformation and just providing people with the real stuff. So kudos to you for that, my friend. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Um,
Thank you. So
so
the thing,
go
if I
ahead.
may, the thing that I think that most people miss is the fundamental pyramid of importance
Right.
when it comes to setting up your training and your nutrition. And when you don't understand the priority of importance, then you ask all of the wrong questions
Right.
without you knowing it. So, my best friend, this pains me. I just want to slap him because I've been telling him that he's a bit ADHD.
Uh-huh.
A little bit. He's not actually diagnosed, but he just cannot focus. And so he asks questions in isolation. And I say to him, read this.
Right.
It will take you 20 minutes. And then you'll never have to ask any question like this again because you'll understand. But he can't and won't do it because he doesn't see the value in it.
I
And for
get
some
that.
reason, he hasn't seen why asking these questions is um, kind of just sending him in circles. So, for example, this morning, he sent me a picture of his dinner last night. And I sent back and said, oh, you probably want to have a little more protein in that. And this is my best friend. This is not something I do for clients.
Right.
Clients, I get them to count their macros, right?
Yeah.
This guy, and I was like, why? Is protein good? I'm like, well, on occasion, if you're gonna have a little less, that's gonna be fine. But
Right.
protein's good for recovery, and it's
Right.
gonna help you maintain your muscle mass as you're cutting. And he's like, oh, well, I'm gonna have 200 grams for lunch, and it's gonna be a chicken thigh. And I'm like, okay, well, um, does that mean 200 grams of meat, or does that mean 200 grams of protein? Because the two are actually a little bit
Yeah.
different there. And actually, let's back up a second, because if you are in too high of a caloric deficit,
Mm-hmm.
then no amount of protein is going to save you from losing some muscle mass.
Right.
And from that, you're going to lose weight so fast, and the hunger is just going to suck, and you're going to end up rebounding.
Right.
So then let's take another question. Should I take vitamin C, for example? Should I take a multivitamin? Should I take creatine? It's like, well, hang on, let's back up a second. Like, are you consuming your vegetables?
Right.
Are you consuming a variety of vegetables?
Right.
How are we going to assess whether the quantity of vegetables you're taking is decent? So I like to go with a heuristic of like a fist size of vegetables with each meal, and have like 2 to 4 meals a day. Now that's just a really very, very basic heuristic.
Right.
And I could get obviously more granular than that, but you have to put everything into context.
Right.
Like, how many people have asked you, LS, should I train my eccentrics with 4 seconds and my concentrics with 2? I heard that that's going to help me feel it, right? So then, like, you must have been asked like tempo questions a lot, right?
Oh, you get asked a lot, because a lot. It starts becoming the fad, and they start seeing their favorite lifters doing it. People start glorifying it. So like that's why I have my own. I'm sure you get it. A lot of my clients start asking that question, like, why are we not doing more tempos? Why are we not doing more eccentrics? Like, man, all right, yeah, I get it. But please continue.
So this is where, like, I'll direct them towards that pyramid of importance, and I'll
Right.
say, yo, where is tempo? And it's like, oh, that's the last piece that you want to make sure you're not screwing up,
Right.
rather than you're actively managing it.
Right.
Because as we know, for tempo, as long as you're lifting an appropriately heavy load,
Right.
tempo is going to take care of itself as you fatigue.
Exactly. Exactly.
Right. So it's not really something to worry about. Things that you do need to worry about lower down on that priority list, or rather higher on the priority list, lower on that pyramid, that base foundation that we're creating here, is volume, frequency, intensity of load.
Right.
Right. Those are these fundamental things. And then one base level lower than that, consistency.
Man.
Are you trying to do a 6-day program of your favorite bodybuilder, or, well, actually powerlifters don't generally train 6 days, but are you trying to do like a 6-day program when your schedule is only going to allow for 3?
Right.
Can you actually keep up with this? Right.
Where's the consistency in terms of the training? And a lot of people, training, nutrition, it all boils down to, in what I tell my people, a lot of it boils down to your consistency and your discipline. Are you able to do the same thing? Not necessarily the same thing, but are you able to do the same number of things repetitively, over and over and over, the right way? You know what I mean? And again, there's going to be times of deviation. That's to be expected. But are you able to do those consistently and persistently over extended amount of time for however long it needs? However long you need in order to accomplish the goal that you're trying to accomplish. And again, at some point, you just have to accept the fact. At least for me, I just accept the fact that this is my lifestyle, rather than this is something that I'm trying to do in order to look good for a wedding, or in order to look good for the platform, or whatever it is. This is something that has to become my lifestyle. Once it becomes my lifestyle, at least for me, that it doesn't become a habit, but rather a lifestyle. And so you don't necessarily think about it like, oh, I have to do this. I have to do this. But rather I think to myself like, all right, well, this is what we do now. You know what I mean? Like, there's no turning back. Full 100%, commitments to the process. And for me, at least, and for those like myself, I think it helps a lot to know that, okay, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm committing to. There's really no turning back to it. Let's just go ahead and commit to it. And it just seems like it's a lot easier once you just decide that it's going to be part of what you do. So then you stop. At least for me, I stop asking the dumb questions because I'm doing more research on what I'm doing. Number one. Number two, more importantly, you take more pride in what you're doing, what's going in, what's going in your body, what you're ingesting. So there's more an investment, I should say, in what you're trying to accomplish and what you're trying to do. So when you do hire on someone like yourself, or ask for a consultation from people like yourselves, Eric Helms, Andrea Valdez, that well, not only do I know that they know what they're doing, but in turn I'm going to learn how to do it correctly, so that I know what they're saying, so that I know the lingo, so I know the jargon, so that I know. I mean, that's for me, that was the hardest part. That's been the hardest part, is just learning how to learning how to ask the right question. And a lot of times, sometimes not asking a question at all, just doing the research first before you ask the question, that's the best question you're gonna ask. But we're in the day and age right now where it's all about instant gratification. And if I can't get it from typing on my cell phone, if I can't get it from me asking, "Hey Andy, what do I need to like? Hey, is this the right amount? Is this the right amount? Hey, how much is this? How many grams of this should I take?" If we can't get it instantaneously, then we don't want it.
Yeah.
You tell me 20 minutes. I have to read an article for 20 minutes to find the answer. No, I need 10 seconds.
Yeah, but here's the thing. The last time you had a good long Instagram shit, like, was that not 20 minutes?
At least. At
Right?
least. At least.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I that makes perfect amount of sense. And again, if people, I think it doesn't take a lot. You can literally just go to your IG, Andy Ridbody. You can see just some of the people that you've dealt with, some of the things that just some of the results, and people can see firsthand like what you say works, what you guys do works. And again, I don't necessarily name drop a lot, but I mean, just in the last 2 minutes, I dropped Andrea's name, I dropped Eric Helms' name, your two other co-authors that wrote the book with you, and dude, all three of you guys know your shit, and all three of you guys, you have you come from a place of you've been there, you've done that, and I like to think of it as as lazy as it sounds. You guys have already done the hard work and just pretty much filtered all the dumb shit out of the way, and all we have to do is like, all right, cool. This is A through Z. You don't even need that. We actually got rid of freaking C through Z. Now we just have A to B. All you have to do is do A to B.
So
And
the actual shortcut
yes,
to success
it
is
really
to
is.
understand those principles first. Like the things that look like they're shortcuts, they're not. They're
Yeah,
just going to end up you going in circles, or fluctuating, right?
right,
But and the actual shortcut is doing a little bit of reading so that you understand. And that's kind of where the articles come in.
right,
And it's not that hard. It's just a case of sitting down and focusing, right? So that you understand, and therefore you know what questions are good questions versus dumb questions, because otherwise you just don't know.
right,
So, and then more importantly, when someone comes out with a claim, let's say, let's go back to one that we can all have a giggle at. If you eat 6 meals a day, you're going to stoke your metabolism, and that's going to be better, right? So that's kind of been debunked. But 10 years ago, everyone was doing that.
Oh yeah, it was a fad.
Everyone was having 6 meals a day. We were eating like rabbits. Now we're grazing all day, and when you are putting in so much work, and someone makes a bold claim and it starts gaining traction, it's natural to worry that you could be getting better results by switching over to something else. But
Right,
if you have a framework through which to take that claim, insert it into the framework of importance, and then see where that fits in, you have a way of shit testing that claim,
right,
basically. So then with the timing, you're like, well, hang on a second. I know that calories are the most important thing because that's going to determine whether I gain or lose weight. And then after that, I know that my macronutrients The second most important thing, protein being the most important of
Right.
those, because that's going to determine whether I've got enough for recovery or whether I've got enough to help me maintain my muscle mass as I'm cutting
Right.
or help me build muscle as I'm gaining. And then my carbohydrates going to help me with the intensity of my training, and my fats, I don't want to get them too low or too high, because if they're too low, it's going to screw with my hormones. If it's too high, then
Right.
I'm not going to have enough room in my caloric budget for the carbohydrate. And then what's the next layer? It's like, am I getting enough water? And then am I consuming enough vegetables, fruits, and fiber so that my micronutrition, your vitamins and minerals,
Yeah.
and then all the things we can't quite measure, the zoonutrients, etc., are taken care of. And then we've got timing. But here's the thing about nutrient timing, to answer that specific question that you didn't ask, but I wanted to throw out there as an example, right? So here's the thing. We know then that as long as you take care of these three base layers, our calories, our macronutrients, and then the micronutrients in terms of the fruits and vegetables that we're eating, that the timing doesn't matter that much. And the research backs this up. What the timing really, you just don't want to screw up your timing. Getting really, really granular with your timing
Hmm.
as a power athlete or as a bodybuilder doesn't really do that much. Now, if you are an endurance athlete doing 2 a days or 3 a days, where you have fueling concerns for your muscles because you are an endurance athlete, and
Right.
glycogen replenishment, which is that's the muscle in your that's the fuel source in your muscles, that's going to fuel your endurance workouts, becomes a concern, then sure, but that's not us.
Right.
So there's lots of flexibility there. So if someone were to say, oh yeah, you should eat one meal a day, or you should eat one meal a week, some snake dude, I don't know, talking about this crap, and or yeah, you need to eat 6 meals, then you can be like, well, hang on a second, no, move on. I'm happy with what I'm doing. I
Right.
can ignore that, right? Or if
Right.
someone says, "Oh yeah, you should eat what's fatting now? Celery juice or something?"
Yeah. Something.
Right? I mean, come on. Where does that fit into things? Absolutely nowhere.
It
Like,
doesn't.
just shut up, right? Yeah, you just learn how to check someone's bullshit, and that's a very empowering thing, right? You're
Oh yeah.
teaching people how to fish instead of giving them fish.
Yeah. And I mean, I think that it's as weird as it sounds. People don't really realize how important it is just to educate themselves. I mean, it just it's weird. Like sometimes just the, as simple as just knowing just a little bit more than what you knew yesterday can save you time, save you embarrassment, and honestly, just like I said, for me, time is the most precious resource that you have. And while you have a lot of it, you don't necessarily have a lot of it. For the most part, usually when people, like myself, a lot of clients that you have come to you. Usually, some may do it for health reasons. A lot of them, like myself, will come to you because we have a timing issue. It's we have a deadline, we have a meet, we have a show coming up, so we've got to get as lean as possible. We've got to get our diet and our nutrition as on point as possible in a certain amount of time. So there's not necessarily this infinite bank of time that one has, in order to accomplish this goal. There's usually a finite wall that you're gonna hit uh, before you need to be at whatever peak that you need to be at. Or even if it is a regular Joe Schmo out there that's getting ready for a wedding, or their anniversary's coming up, whatever it is, they want to fit into this nice dress, or they want to fit into their high school prom freaking suit. Who fucking knows? Um, but usually people, they waste a lot of time, you know, chasing these fads. There's so many fads out there. Um, what's been one of the, at least as far as I want to know, what's been probably one of the biggest fad diets that's you've really had to kind of crash.
Uh, that I've personally myth busted or one
Either
of the
or.
funniest ones that I've seen? Well, I live in Japan, so I mean, you were here last
Yeah.
week. Like, you understand it's another world. Um, but then again, I hear some crazy shit all the time, like from what's coming out from certain celebrity mouths, uh, like the celery one. Like,
Oh
oh my
God,
God.
celery.
Okay, so I had this guy now. Um, he comes to me the one night and he says, "Hey Andy," I used to work for him as an English teacher here, and he goes, "Hey Andy, I've heard you're into nutrition now. Look, I've heard about this thing. It's going really well for me. I want your opinion on it, right? So there's this diet. It's called the apple diet. So what I do is I eat nothing but apples, right? Monday to Saturday
Oh my
until the evening. And then when it gets to evening, I'm allowed to drink as much beer as I want.
God. Are you
And then
kidding?
Sundays, I can have whatever I want. And I'm
Oh,
losing weight. What do you think?" I'm just
you're killing
like
yourself.
inside, I'm like falling over. I'm like, oh my God. It's like,
Wait,
that's probably the best I've
and
heard. It
all
was
apple diet.
all apple diet, all apples all the time. Oh shit, I'm gonna buy that domain. AAAAT. All right,
I
.com.
can't even. I can't even think. Of course you're gonna. I mean, I'm trying to think of like in my head. I mean, it's like if you learn just a little bit about nutrition, like as you're telling me, I'm thinking to myself. So I'm seeing this guy is probably eating like 5 to 6 apples a day. I don't even know like what that nutritional value is like. So there's absolutely. It seems like there's absolutely no
You can't.
protein. It's all.
No one got fat on fruit, man. No one
Look, I
got fat
can't
on
even
fruit.
think like I like hell. I don't like how could his digestive system even function? Like
He was probably like,
poor fella.
and
Golly.
then there was a period in, I think it was around 2007, 2008, and the banana diet was fadding, which
Yeah.
was really upsetting because bananas are probably the most affordable fruit in Japan because
Mhm.
fruits are expensive as hell here. And yeah, there was this thing where I think it was like 6 bananas a day and you will lose weight, and
Well, of
it
course you
was
will.
like talked about on TV, and there were no bananas. You could not get any bananas
That's
anywhere. It was
insanity.
always sold out.
I couldn't even imagine. First of all, I hate bananas, but the fact that I mean, it doesn't
You hate
even
ban
make sense
Whoa,
to
whoa,
hear it.
stop. Back up. You hate bananas?
I
This is
can't.
another thing
I
I've having to call you.
yeah, man. I can't.
Why? No.
I just I've
Have you
never.
had my
You know what?
banana
When I
bread?
was younger, I actually used to like them. And I don't know. I think it was around. It had to have been around like I had to be around like 11 or 12, and I had a banana, and it just did not sit well with me. And I'm not allergic or anything. I just the texture and the taste just got to me, and I threw up everywhere. And after that, I was like, I'm never gonna have another banana again. Same way with
Mm.
watermelon. Like the same. I think it was like around the summer. The same summer that I hated watermelon was the same summer that I hated bananas. Like I don't like banana flavoring. I don't like watermelon flavoring. I don't like anything that smells even remotely close to bananas or watermelon. I cannot. I like all other fruit. Oh, strawberries. I'm not the biggest fan of strawberries, but everything else,
So, so like all the good shit, basically. So what you're
yeah.
saying is, so your judgment is brought into question once again. So first we go with the vegan cauliflower
Listen,
uh, wings.
the next time you
Uh,
come back to the States and you're around my way, I'm gonna take you to a spot. There's 2 places now that I've had them, and they're great. And you gotta understand, man. Like, I mean, for me, like at least for me, that was. I mean, and I mean,
LS,
I
LS, can I stop you, mate? I'm sorry. You know when someone's in a hole,
wait, no,
right?
I was.
And how do you get out of the hole? Do you
No, I'm
keep
not trying
digging?
to get out of the
No, you
hole.
don't keep digging, man. You're
What I'm
digging.
saying is this.
Carry on if you want. You're gonna keep
No,
digging,
I
man.
promise you, it's gonna make sense.
Hmm.
I fasted, I done my intermittent fasting all day or whatever, and I had nothing but protein. That cauliflower was actually, believe it or not, that was my carbs. That was my post workout carbs. Thank you very much.
Why is this? Why did you choose that out of interest? Though? Seriously.
I had no carbs. Hadn't had a carb, and it was, I don't know that it was by design. It was just I was looking through my macros as I plugged them in. I was like, dude, I have not had one carb. I didn't have it I didn't have it via training or any, I had no carbs in it.
Right.
Of
So
course,
they were just there, and you didn't want to have the fries because they've got a lot of fat, and you're
yeah,
like,
and
damn it,
I'm
I
like,
can have
wait,
that.
I want something tasty, and
Yeah.
I
Okay.
had never had them at this particular establishment. And I mean, let's be real, it was literally 75 cents. So yes, I'm gonna try them, and they were absolutely amazing, and the macros
This
were
is
immaculate.
you make B Dubs sound fancy. Establishment. Why
First,
on
it
earth?
wasn't B Dubs. This is a completely different place. It's called.
Oh,
Are you ready for this?
yeah.
It is called Buffalo Wings and Rings. Yes,
Wow. They're not
it's
even creative.
it's I at first when I was like, oh, that's such a just B Dubs ripoff. Until I went there and I had the wings, and I mean, I don't know that I don't know what chickens they get them from. They're like baby pterodactyls because the wings are humongous. And I mean, of course, it's Texas size wings. They pretty much should just be an actual chicken wing, but whatever. Yeah, it's a really good place. It's a local owned place, and I try to. I mean, since I moved into this community, I've tried to do a lot of like just buy local. You know, even my t-shirt vendors and everything. I try to stay as local as possible, and it's a really
Mm.
nice place. And they do a lot for the community. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go here, and I'm glad I did because they had some of the greatest cauliflower wings you ever had. And I'm clearly they were good. I lived to tell the story, and the scale was nice to me as far as the scale goes. So you talked about being in Tokyo. So for my people that don't know, I failed to mention this on purpose. Andy actually is based out of Tokyo, Japan, um, which is crazy. It's super crazy. We actually met. I actually met Andy in Dublin, Ireland. So let me talk about a backtrack. I met Andy at Dublin, Ireland, at a powerlifting conference, and like I've said it a couple times. Like I didn't know how to. I just didn't. I didn't get him at first. I'm like, dude, this guy is clearly he's a talker and he's a thinker. And the thing is, I talked about Eric Helms earlier. If you want to just have your mind blown for a quick second, have Andy, um, Greg Knuckles, who I have yet to mention, have Andy, Greg Knuckles, and Mike Teixeira and Eric Helms all sitting at the same table having a chat. So I'm sitting in the corner like, what are they talking about? What are they talking about? Now, if you know personalities and you know how people are, there's always that there's a smart guy, there's a smart guy, the nerd, and then there's like the smart guy entertainer. Now, Andy falls right in between the smart guy that talks really loud, the smart guy nerd, and the smart guy entertainer. It's kind of all mixed in. And then you have Eric Helms, who does the exact same thing. And then you have Greg Knuckles, who's just Greg Knuckles is a hard person to explain. And then you have Mike. He is very straight to the point. And then out of nowhere, you're like, wait, is does he even care that he's here? And then Michael hits you with one of the funniest jokes that you've ever heard in your life. Like, I did not think that was going to come out of him. But meanwhile, Andy's just boom, 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 boom. I literally heard, I think, 6 or 7 different conversations going on at one time in between these 4 gentlemen. And I'm not ashamed to say not at one point did I really understand anything that went on, but I did have my phone on fire googling what they were saying the whole time. That was probably the most entertaining conversation I've ever had in my life. And coincidentally, that's when I found out how funny Mike Teixeira was, because before Mike was always just, and I forgot, I think Eric may have kind of set him up, but he kind of just set him up, and Mike hit one of the grandest home runs of a joke that I've ever heard in my life. I got up and I walked out. I remember that. And I remember telling my girlfriend, I was like, dude, this Andy guy, I don't get him, but he's funny. He's super funny. And I remember I'd asked Danny Lennon, and I was like, who's that guy that's taking all the pictures? And he goes, oh, that's Andy. Oh, mate, he's solid. He's solid. And that was day one. By day two, I was like, hey, man, is the Andy guy coming? And like he was kind of, I mean, I'm talking about you like you're not here, but Ed was kind of my entertainment without knowing he was my entertainment. And so by the time we all parted ways, I was like, dude, I'm gonna make sure I keep up with this guy. I'm gonna follow this guy, figure out what he's about. And you've kind of blown me away just over. And it's not even been a year. How crazy is that? Just it hasn't even been a year, but like honestly, he's honestly one of the most entertaining, one of the most. I don't know. It's hard to explain. It's hard to explain, Andrew. And he's one of those guys like when you follow him and you see him, you're like, okay, now I get it. You know what I mean? Like it's you can't have just one dose. So he's based out of Tokyo. Basically, I said all that to say that he's based out of Tokyo, Japan. How did you get to Japan? Like how did it all happen? Because you're actually from England, yes? You're from the UK.
I'm from Birmingham in England, which is the second biggest city. It's all right. I mean, the thing is, like most people born in Birmingham, grow up in Birmingham, die in Birmingham. And once you've had a taste of kind of what's out there, for me personally anyway,
right,
it was very hard to go back, especially when, like, England, it's very grey and drizzly all the time. True. Like, I think we got 3 different words for cloudy, overcast, right? It's like, because that's just how it is all the time, right?
Oh, man.
Yeah, there's some sunny places. And I wanted to get out and I wanted to see the world a bit more. So I backpacked around Southeast Asia. So I crashed my motorbike, someone in a Toyota Land Cruiser, which is you would probably call it a mid-size SUV.
Yeah.
Because like the rest of the world, this is like a gigantic car. He pulled across me, hit me, smashed the fairing on my bike. I took the insurance payout, duct taped my bike back together. I was like, right, I got $2,500. How far can this get me? Right, I'm gonna go to backpacking around Southeast Asia, so Thailand, Malaysia, Singapore, Indonesia, and I did 3 months. And the summer before that, I've been to India, lived in Calcutta, doing some volunteer work for 3 months, that was a weird one because I just said I was part of this charity at university, and I had this opportunity to be sent somewhere. I didn't know where to do some volunteer work, and I was just like, yes. So that one decision ended up sending me to India because then it just cascades, right?
Right.
And I end up in Calcutta with his family, and it's like, whoa, mind blown. So, I want to travel. And then backing up a bit more, when I was 15, there were some really rough places where I grew up. There was violence just for the sake of entertainment, like no purpose. As in, like, we're not talking for the sake of drugs and profit or anything like that, or stealing stuff, mugging people, taking their phones or whatever, although there was that. We're just talking about people would just fight for the sake of fighting. So I was 15 and this gang of kids got off the bus opposite, and they marched across the road, and I ended up getting a glass bottle around my head. And this was right in my hometown neighborhood. I was used to dealing with, like, having to dodge the people who wanted to beat you up or mug you on the way back from school,
right?
Because my school was in a really rough area, but it was an old school, like 120 years old or something like that.
Oh, wow.
So it was in a great area originally when it was founded, but it's now a really bad inner city.
Yeah.
We used to, like, commute in and then go back, but we were targets. Anyway, but this was like, I got attacked in my hometown, really close to my house, and that kind of messed with me. And then I got into karate. So then when I'm coming up to graduation and I'm like, okay, well, what do I want to do? It's like, well, actually, I want to go travel for a bit. How about I go to Japan, do karate for a year, mature a bit, figure my life out, then go back, and then apply for a
university,
big boy job.
Yeah.
So I was teaching English in Japan. I just Googled, what jobs can I do in Japan? It was like, teaching English. What companies will hire from England for Japan? And I came up with Nova, Geos, Aeon. I was like, Nova, application form, That came up, applied, had an interview, boom, done, right?
That's crazy.
Google for everything, right? And yeah, I ended up living in Osaka, and I thought I would stay for a year, but I ended up staying now. Well, I've been here since September 7th, 2005.
So what turned out, I'm just gonna go teach English. Now you're there. You're there.
Now I'm here.
And it's awesome. I mean, because I just recently, just a few weeks ago, I was able to kind of visit, hang out with Andy, and it's nice. It's fun. It's not what it was. Japan. I had been through Japan by way of having a layover, but I had never been to Japan. I'd never been to Tokyo. I'd never been anywhere in Japan. So I didn't know what to expect, and I think the first thing I think I said to you was like, "This is the most efficiently made city that I've ever been in. It's so efficient, just in terms of use of space and just it's very efficient. Train system's awesome. Um, it was great. Um, even with the weather and like the weather warnings and all the stuff for the train, like the train was still on time, and I was like, "You've got to be kidding me! Anywhere else, it would have been done." Um, it was super nice. So I can see how it Japan, or I should say Tokyo, quickly rose its way to my number one city. It's just edging out Toronto. So I was like, wow, this place is super nice. So I mean, I can always tell how much I love a city just by how much I want to go back to it. So when even though we were in Narita, I just kept going back, kept going back. So that was great. I could see how easy it is to not just to fall in love with the culture, but to to really like grow to love the culture and it's love how the people are there because it just seems like it's a nice place to be. A lot of places I think when you're a foreigner, um, it's not necessarily not the most friendly place, but it's hard to assimilate. It's hard to but it seems like it's fairly easy to kind of assimilate and become a part of the community and the culture. I mean, and just from what you told me and kind of watching how just you and your people operate, it seems like while there is the Japanese culture altogether, you guys have your own subculture within the Japanese culture. So that was really cool to kind of see how you guys move and how you operate. Like have you ever thought about leaving Japan or is Japan home? Yeah.
Well, I have the Japanese side of the business here,
Yeah.
where we focus on translating and kind of bridging that language
Hmm.
barrier that is a barrier to good information coming into Japan in nutrition and training. And
Right.
so, I really want to build out that business.
Yeah.
And I'm here for the time being for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, and why wouldn't you? I would always think like it's not like you want to cap. It's hard to put a cap on something like that. I mean, because again, like we talked about, it everything requires time, and however much time it takes to grow it is how much time you have to invest in it. You know what I mean? So to be like, oh, I got a year or two. Like timelines are cool, but I've never I've never been a fan. Oh, you know that I'm not a fan of timelines. But yeah, it's interesting, man, because like I said, I would have never have thought that my doorway into learning more about Japanese culture, seeing Tokyo, in all its glory, would be through a white man from England. But that's how it happened, and and honestly, it's been super super cool, and to see, I should have, if I mean I probably could go back at some point. I should have screenshot all the reactions and all the commentary and all the DMs I was getting from people like, "Oh my god!" It was like, is he Japanese? Like, who is that guy and everything? And so it was crazy because you were like, "Hey, make sure you tag me." And as soon as I started tagging, people were like, "Oh yeah, I know who that guy is." Like, so you didn't know who he was before? Wait, how does that work? So, but yeah, it's been really cool even since I've been back, and I think a lot of it's just like I mean I definitely have you to thank for that because it was like I'm sorry, I already reached out to the hotel that I stayed at. It's like, hey, when can I book it again? Um, because now I'm gonna have two friends that are gonna be in the Olympics. I have one of my friends is she's gonna be in the Paralympics there in Tokyo, and my buddy Ryan Doris, his younger brother, is most likely gonna be triple jumping for his country in Tokyo. So I actually was on the train to the fish market when I was texting Ryan back and forth, and he's like, "Hey man, we need to start looking at places already." I'm like, "Oh, I forgot. Yeah, your brother. Yeah, yeah, yeah." So it's been it's been pretty cool, man. Like I'm already like counting the days till I can go back. So I definitely have you to thank for that. A thing that I do want to talk about. Don't think I'm gonna let you slip away there quick without talking about it. I mentioned before that you have octane in the veins. Um,
Yes.
I honestly, that was one of the things I did not know about Andy, honestly, until I started following him, is how much of a car freak he is, more so than myself.
Oh, that's what you mean. Okay, yeah.
Yes, yes. And I had no idea. And again, and if you're a car enthusiast, if you like cars, luxury cars, speed, just cars in general, this is definitely the man to follow. You know what? We won't even go into like detail about the that monster of a machine that you have in the garage. Of course we are, but if you want to just see, as he puts it, casual, the casual luxury car, the casual sports car. This is definitely the man to follow it, and there's nothing casual about him. But again, I had no idea that that these types of machines were just so prevalent in Tokyo. So you have to see. I mean, it's one thing to see it on your IG, but to see it in real life, like, wait a minute, there's another Mercedes. There's another one. Oh wait, there's another. There's another one. And I mean
No,
that.
not even Mercedes, man.
Mm-mm.
It's so you saw. It's like I don't even look. I barely look at Lamborghini Aventadors anymore. Like I see so many.
That's
It's like give me.
insanity.
It's like bitch, please give
Like,
me a Pagani. Like come on.
like, give me something that I'll actually like blink my eye about. Like it was just crazy. Like to see those. Like, so have you always been into like just speed and cars and things of that nature, or is it something that kind of as times progress you just kind of started getting into?
Yeah, I love cars for a good long time. Yeah, when I was a kid, I had on my shelf above my bed, I had three Lamborghinis. I had the Countach, the
Oh,
Diablo, and the Diablo SV. Um, so yeah, I've liked them for a while, and now
that's
the fact that I see them pretty much every day, um, I got the car culture is so friendly here. Like I've sat in, driven many dream cars. It's it's very strange, but very cool.
I was gonna say, yeah,
Because
it's
it's
like,
such a the wealth density in
mm-hmm.
Tokyo, especially this area of Tokyo, is just ridiculous. And one of the ways people like to spend their money is on cars, and people here are very respectful and they look after their stuff.
Yeah.
And people who have the same hobby, they tend to feel a sense of community.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, oh hey, yeah, have a seat, or oh hey, yeah, do you want to take it for a drive? I mean, so I had a guy within a minute of meeting him hand me the keys to his Porsche. Um, like, yeah, that happened. That's
That's
what got me to love the Cayman GT4. Like,
that.
I turn up and then he was like, "Hey, have a go." He's like, "You're gonna drive it. I heard the way you were driving. You're gonna drive this how it wants to be driven. So you got to take it for a few laps." We
That's
were on
crazy.
some mountain roads, so I was like, "What, really?" So yeah, it took it like 20 minutes.
And then fast forward
Yeah,
present day,
madness.
proud
And
owner.
then right, yeah, I got one. I got one.
That's, yeah,
Three
and
3 years later.
that's
But
that.
you like we were at the parking lot, and
Yeah,
like there was a guy. You were sitting in a McLaren 675
yeah,
LT, right? Yeah.
yeah. And you're just like, how is
And
this
then a
even
Rolls Royce Dawn Black
Yeah,
Edition,
I'm like,
right?
what is this? Like, what's going on? Like, you just, but it reminds me a lot of. It's gonna sound so dumb. It reminds me a lot of growing up in West Texas and people having big trucks, and like they'll
Mm-hmm.
have the lift kits on the truck. They'll have the big, 44-inch tires, 20-inch rims. The thing's sitting, 12, God knows how many inches up in the air, and everyone's parked in the parking lot and just going by and looking at everybody's truck. And there's one section is the diesel trucks, the other section is the gasoline trucks, and the diesel boys go over look at the gas kids trucks, and the gas boys go look at the diesel trucks. And I mean, and it's clearly there's a completely different tax bracket for the diesel guys. I mean, those are God knows how much, I mean, but the diesel guys always kind of little brother. The gasoline guys, like, you were able to do a lot with that gasoline, that gasoline truck, and like, hey man, go take it for a spin. Like, what? Yeah. Or we're going mudding and taking a 80 to 100 grand truck, which it's crazy even saying it out loud. Taking a truck that that's upwards of $200,000 by the time they're done with the modifications, taking it out into the middle of a dirt field, letting somebody literally take your truck and just drive it through the mud over and over and over. Like, but I mean, it's just like, you know what? I see that you take care of your truck. Take mine. I'll take yours. And you're like, all right, cool, let's do it. And then people like myself, the guys that have the SUVs, we're even more of a rare breed. So I mean, it kind of reminded me of kind of growing up and seeing that. And it was like just complete strangers, that just they're people were bound by their car, and it was kind of cool seeing everybody drive up and their Nissans and everything, and then you pull in with this Porsche, and it's like people just stop, like, oh, okay, now it's serious. I won't lie and say that didn't kind of feel kind of cool driving up, right up in a Porsche, backing it in, parking, and everybody kind of stopping what they were doing and looking at your car. That's kind of nice. That was kind of really nice, actually.
It's nice because it's not. It's an expensive car. It certainly was not far from the most expensive car in that car park, but it's very uncommon.
Yes, and that was one of the things.
Good in that black with the yellow. Right?
Oh man, yeah, and again, you guys, if you don't follow this guy, you need to follow. I mean, I won't give away too much because you need to follow him to check out his car.
It's the Instagram stories where I put the car stuff.
Oh my god, yeah, man, and the thing is, there's so many just amazing cars in the area. What's been so far? Because I don't even know if I asked you that when I was there. What's been or maybe I did. I'm not sure. What's been like the best car you've driven so far?
Ferrari F12.
Oh shit.
Yeah, the Ferrari F12 Berlinetta. This thing has just got power for days. Like that's Ferrari's V12 730 brake horsepower rear-wheel drive front-engined beast. It's now been superseded by the 812 Superfast, but it's still just an absolute monster. It's super super fun.
I didn't even know this whole time. It's the engine's in the front, yeah.
Yeah, or the Porsche GT3 RS. That thing is a monster as well. That was super fun. I took that on the mountain road around Mount Fuji, and I stuck to the speed limit exactly like I should have.
That's but there's not. I honestly, I've been told by everybody with a fast car, like, there's no such thing as a speed limit. There's just not getting caught. And I've always laughed. And again, I've never had a super fast car, so I'm like, I never subscribed to that notion, like, oh, there's no such thing as a speed limit. There's a such thing as getting caught. Until I actually sat in your Porsche, I was like, oh wow, there's a reason why I drive a truck. There's a reason why. I mean, because I think you start, your limitations as a person. And again, like I said, my last experience with super speed was when I had my Hayabusa, and I was wrecked, and I was like, never again. Some people like yourself, you can handle speed, you can handle it on a daily basis. Myself, nope. I'm not even built for speed myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a short, squatty guy. I'm built for power. So, like, just give me all the power. But yeah, that's probably been, to this day, that was I've gotten shit from my girlfriend for saying it, but for sure that was like a top 5 moment in my life. Like, just not just driving, but just the whole the whole like setting, the scenery, um, the fact that like there's like a stable of Ferraris to the right, and like, oh yeah, you want to drive? Like what? And I swear I thought you were joking, and yeah, that's gonna go. That's one of those that like, you know what? When I'm on my deathbed, I'll think of that. That'll be a memory that I smile about. I'll tell my kids about that one. Like, yeah, I drove a Porsche once. Um, as I'm driving my old school Cadillac around. Um, I don't want to take up too much more of your time, but I do want to ask you as far as is where you're at, as far as where you're sitting in the fitness industry. What is a not necessarily a trend, but what is something that you see, you know, I guess an area that you see the fitness industry heading towards, um, I guess in a positive way. That mean because I've heard a lot of different things. I've heard that it's actually trending toward a more of a better place than it has been in quite some time. Like what's some of the things that you see the fitness industry kind of headed towards?
Yeah. So the shortcuts are always going to be there,
Right.
taking advantage of people's ignorance. And that is what it is. But I think the number of personal trainers who are taking their education more seriously
Hmm.
is on the increase, and that's because there's much better information out there now, which is really cool. And then the number of regular trainees who are taking things into their own hands and looking to help educate themselves as well, that's on the increase.
Right.
So um, I I'm seeing, and this is through I don't really follow many people,
Right.
honestly, but it seems to me that people within the industry are being less grabby and trying to protect their own secret sauce
Right.
and more supportive of building the community. Like so,
Yes, I
high
can see
tide
that.
raises all ships,
True.
and that's kind of my abundance mentality. And helping out one of my fellow colleagues in the industry is in no way, shape, or form taking away from my business,
True.
um, because there are way more people than there are us that need help.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, by far. I mean, and to hoard information at this point in the game is just you're honestly you're just doing it to be an asshole. You're not necessarily doing it. You don't get any competitive advantage out of it. There's enough room at the top for everyone. There's literally billions of people, and you know what I mean. For some reason, for some they act like it's like 1,000 people out there, and there's 2,000 of us. Um, so yeah, but you're right to share information at this point. I mean, in the game is of paramount importance. I mean, if hopefully more people adopt that mindset, because I think it'll help a lot, especially just with the amount of people that are in the world, with the population booming the way it is. Um, health concerns in my opinion, health concerns are going to be, if they aren't already, they're going to be the number one concern of people, because you're going to run out of space, and you can't have people sitting on top of each other and not have some type of problem of some sort, arise, and then health is usually going to be one of the first things that tends to go as a result. So kudos you, my friend, for that. Now finally.
You're exactly right. Yeah, I'm trying to decide, man. Don't say it yet. Hold on.
Listen, I'll lead up to it. You got some time. Um, like I say all the time with every guest, if you were trapped in an alley, gun to your head, and then it's like, hey, the only way you're gonna survive this is you have to sing a song, rap a verse. You have to sing something of your favorite song in order to get out of this. What song would you
All
go
right.
with, and could you perform it?
All right. Lionel Richie.
Lionel Richie.
Lionel Richie. Hello. Here we go.
Oh wow!
Standing alone with you inside my
My God.
mind. And in my dreams, I've kissed your lips a thousand
Thousand
times. I sometimes see you pass outside my door.
Hello.
Hello. Is it me you're looking for? I can see it in your
That's
eyes.
great. This is
I
great.
can see it in your smile. You're all I ever wanted, and my arms are open wide.
Yes.
'Cause you know just what to say, and you know just
What
what
to
to
do?
do. And I want to tell you so much. I love you.
The dramatic pause that made it. That made it. Thank you so much, man. I'm telling you that is the most that probably is the most entertaining one we've had. Ray Williams did a really good Five Finger Death Punch heavy metal version, and I died laughing, but we lost the audio to that. So it is what it is.
Oh no.
Yeah, we're
So
gonna have
what?
to.
I'm the champ. I beat Ray
Oh
Williams.
yeah, you
I
definitely
beat Ray
you
Williams.
beat
I
Ray
want to hear that.
Williams. You
What?
may have been the only person that beat Ray Williams in anything, and there it is. Boom, and he's the champ. I cannot tell you how awesome it was to have you. I'm gonna have to have you back because I've got a million questions, man. But I you're one of the most entertaining people that I have in my life. I mean, and I just feel like if people don't know who you are, they need to know who you are. And if my people don't know who you are, then they're under a rock. They definitely need to know who you are. Again, I appreciate you so much. I know you have a long day. It's morning time, I think, in Tokyo right now. So your
I'm
day hadn't
seeing
even.
a surgeon. I'm seeing a surgeon for my wrist. I've got an appointment in half an hour. So I'm looking forward to getting this fixed finally so that I can get back to lifting some, well,
Nah,
you would call it a super lightweight, but
you don't need to lift weights.
it's
You
all
know what?
relative,
Just
right?
you,
It's all relative.
listen. You
I
don't
want to
need.
get back. I want to get back to benching
Well,
again.
all right. Thank you again so much, Andy, for being on. Where can you be
Anytime.
reached? Where can they find you?
Yeah, if you want to read, just go to rippedbody.com. If you want some distraction in your day on the Instagrams, then it's Andy_rippedbody.
Boom. There it is. I'll say it a million times, and I'll say it a million times more. I cannot thank you enough for your friendship, number one, for coming on here, number two, and just for what you do for our community, number three. I hope you have a great day. I'll be texting you soon. Thank you again, Andy. Have a great day.
Thanks, sir. Good luck over the next week and a half. I'm
All
cheering
right.
you on, man.
All right. Thanks, brother.
All right, champ.
All right.
How dope was that, right? The guy's just an absolute amazing person, man. Just well-spoken, highly intelligent individual, man. It's really exciting having his of course Eric and Andrea's book being hard copy, being on Amazon, so anybody can go and cop it. Be sure, if you guys haven't gotten a book and you're really trying to get your strength and your nutrition game up, that's definitely a book that you definitely need to get. Definitely, I want to say it the third time, whatever. But yeah, thank you guys again for all the support. I hope you guys thoroughly enjoyed this podcast as much as I thoroughly enjoyed doing it with Andy. Just an awesome guy, man. I'm hoping to do some more with him, just, maybe having him checking in every now and again, just in terms of just nutrition and just a lot of the trends that are going on, because he's such an awesome dude and he has such a great story, just from being obviously an Englishman that lives in Japan, that travels the world and makes people stronger, happier, more fit, and of course as healthy as possible. So again, I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys have any people that you want me to reach out to, by all means let me know. I'll definitely reach out to them. I have no fear in my heart. I'm gonna try to get as many people on this bad boy as possible. Thank you again for joining us. If you need anything, coaching, apparel, to know what's going on, you can go to my website lsmcclain.com and I can get you on with all of that. Until the next time, man, you guys be good, take it light. Peace.